Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This episode, the election was last night. We had to do it. When we'll try to get this out here later today, but we had to do it. If not later today, it'll probably be tomorrow, over the weekend. It's gonna be a pop-up situation. We out here. This is, the presidential debate was last night. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Matter of fact, before we even go any further and talk about it, I gotta say this much. I don't even know if this is an official presidential debate, or is this just like, we're gonna get into all of that a little later. First, we gotta talk about two things before we get into that. One of them things is the drafting of Bronny James. Y'all knew it was coming. Here's the crazy part. They say that the manager, the agent, I don't know whatever dude's homie's name is, he called people and was like, he told these other teams, if you draft him, he's going to Australia to play. First and foremost, I don't even see where that's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you do that, he gets that still professional experience somewhere else, and then he can come back and be fully developed with playing professionally. So I don't understand how that was a threat, first and foremost, but whatever. Let's look at the pros and cons of this. And the pros are, he got drafted. First of all, you're one out of 58? Because there's 2 rounds in the NBA draft. I don't care how great your father is. I don't care how good your uncle is. That's still a big deal that you got picked out of one of the 58 people. I don't care what you're talking about. That is a great deal. So let's push that to the side. That's salute. You know what I mean? Salute. The other side of it is history will be made. This has never happened before in the NBA. This is historic. This is monumental. This is something that is great. And the NBA in a situation where they're about to lose, they're about to move. I'm going to say lose too. About to lose TNT, but they're about to move over here and start this new adventure. You need that kind of story. You need that kind of feel-good moment to bring it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh snap, LeBron and his son about to play. They're going to be on the court together. This is going to be crazy. The network is going to be out here fighting for those games. I don't care about nothing else. Can we get some Laker games? We want them Laker games. That's going to happen. That's another positive. The fact that we know about this kid. We know everything about this kid. We know everything about this kid. The physical condition and how he didn't play that much. And yeah, again, nepotism comes into that play, but who doesn't use it? Again, these are all positive. There's nothing negative about any of that. Here's where the negative comes in at. The NBA is going to then trip over itself to make this a bigger moment than it needs. I'm not going to say needs to be. Let me take that back. Then it needs to be, because all of a sudden that Lakers team is going to be in the championship run. All of a sudden something tells me within the first, I don't know how many more years LeBron has it in his contract, but I can tell you this much. They're going to win a championship before he leaves. They might win 2 before he leaves. When you look at Bronny's numbers, you're going to be like, LeBron's numbers. LeBron, like this Laker team, they can move a lot of pieces around. The West is a problem. Unless you go out of your way, unless the NBA goes out of its way to shake up the makings of all those other teams in the West, like out of the blue trades happen that shouldn't be happening for whatever reason, the Lakers are going to have a problem. Them young teams are really rocking. Sacramento, OKC, Minnesota are a problem. They're a problem. Denver is consistent. San Antonio is gonna mess around and find that moment. It's gonna all come together, and if it starts coming together now, they're going to be a problem. The West is heavy. The West is heavy. The Phoenix is going to figure out something, and they're going to switch up. They're going to be a problem. The Clippers are going to figure out some things. They're going to be a problem. That's a lot of teams right there. It's not going to be easy playing in the West. The West is going to be a problem. So knowing that, and we saw that the last two playoffs, the last 2 years in the playoffs, them young teams were killing it. Them Sacramento boys took Golden State to the limit. You know what I'm saying? Last year, Minnesota swept the champions. This past year, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a problem with these young teams coming, and they're good, and they're going to be great for years if nobody tampers with the construction of what's going on. The Lakers are going to have a problem. And if you see the Lakers somehow make it to the finals, you lose all credibility. You know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about how we love to talk about Boston or other teams who make it because a lot of injuries happen. That's just how the game goes. You're supposed to strike while the iron's hot. That's an advantage towards you. Because here's the wild part. If you still lose and their best players lost, that makes your team look extra trash. That's just real. I don't know what you huffing and puffing about. They did their part. They did what they were supposed to do. They got there. Those dudes got hurt on the other team. Ain't no falling back and going, okay, you know what I'm saying? Let's slow back a little bit and let y'all feel like y'all somebody and keep it competitive. Nah, son. Boot on throat all day. Let them choke. I don't play. We gon' do it. That's the way. Because we winners. Hey, hey, hey. Don't quote that. But I'm saying, you know what I mean? But anyway, unless something crazy happens to the other team, the Lakers shouldn't make the finals. That's just real. The Lakers should not make the finals at all. But they will. And then they're going to win the championship. You'll mess up the whole credibility of the league, which, by the way, is already shaky. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers will mess around and be like Cleveland those last 2 years LeBron made it. You'll just be questioning, like, how y'all get this far. Like, for real, y'all got this, especially that last year. You might want to let that year before his last year go, but that last year, when they could barely beat the Indiana Pacers, they swept past. I don't know what even to this day, I still don't know what the mental like dysfunction was when it came to the Toronto Raptors, because they were just whipping boys for LeBron. Maybe that's one of those things where the team was like Drake was like, yo, tell the team I need to see my dog get it. And they was like, what about us? Y'all ain't got a chance. We got to do it for my mans. Because, you know, they was tight. I'm going to say was, because if Drake messed around and saw LeBron at that pop-out joint and singing the songs and stuff, Drake was like, oh yeah, son, we ain't cool no more. Forget you. But what I'm saying is, remember that last year in Cleveland, they somehow survived Game 7 against the Pacers, swept the Raptors, and survived Game 7 against the Celtics. Got swept by Golden State because they shouldn't have been there in the beginning. They shouldn't have made it that far anyway. That's what I'm saying. The credibility of the NBA will then be shaken up. Then you look at it from the aspect of when LeBron does retire, what's going to happen with Bronny? You know what I'm saying? Because right now, we're out here going, oh man, he was holding back in college, or it was because, you know, his situation, you know, wait till he gets to the league and he going to show out. What if he never makes it to be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he might end up being Tim Hardaway Jr. That's it. Might end up being Austin, you know what I'm saying? Austin Rivers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? He might never be anything else. He might be my new Bo's son, Bobo. He might be that. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? It's because we don't know. And then that's another thing too. When the season starts, and he does get on the court and he gets ready to make a move, and everybody kind of fall back, and that defense gets lazy, we gonna scream foul. We're going to be like, yo, for real, y'all, nobody could have stopped that. Nobody could have stopped that. All right. Because that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The slightest thing that he does great or has a good move, good pass, good shot. ESPN, that's the first thing that's jumping on SportsCenter. That's the first thing you're going to hear about on Get Up. That's the first thing you're going to hear about on First Take. It's going to be that circus. You know what I'm saying? LeBron finally retires, and then it's all eyes on him, and the numbers ain't there. That career, that illustrious career that we're thinking the torch has been passed to him, it won't be there. Imagine that. You get gassed up for this, and then it's just not there. Who knows what's going to happen? Am I saying that's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. But what I am saying is the media will make you think it's going to happen. And then if he doesn't step up, if it doesn't go the way that they think it's going to go, how will that affect that man in his mind? You know what I'm saying? What you should do, this is what the Lakers should do. The Lakers should take a page out of the Lakers in the 90s book and give him the Kobe Bryant treatment. Let him slowly settle into being that dude. Let him get that. Let him, like when the Lakers got a team or another team got the Lakers and it's a complete, like there's no competition for real in the fourth quarter. Let him get on the court and get them legs up under him and do his thing. Let that happen. You know what I'm saying? We all remember that's how Kobe was getting a lot of time sometimes. Kobe wasn't always on the court. They would do, okay, this game is over. Put young boy out there, and young boy would show out. That fast break, boom, boom, dunk. Oh, your boy nasty with it. That boom, that moment, boom. Yeah, he was out here showing out, and that shows you, okay, yeah, there's the potential. Let's be cool with that. Don't just put him in the mix like, yo, there's a starting lineup dude now. Like, come on, man. You're disrespecting everybody on that team at that moment. Because unless you trading out a lot of dudes, you're being disrespectful to a lot of great players on that team. You know what I'm saying? This isn't Shaquille O'Neal. This isn't Grant Hill. This isn't Melo. This isn't LeBron, where there was nobody in that position that was great enough, good enough to be that. This is more like, yo, you gotta wait your turn. You know what I'm saying? We'll and I'll be honest, I think he might not start at least the first 10 games, and then they're gonna find a reason to bring him in, and he's gonna be a starter. But there's so much craziness to it, and LeBron is the craziest dude in the game, in the history of the NBA. LeBron is so transparent with everything he does, and he's almost like, what? I can't believe y'all saw that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we knew he was going down into Miami. We knew this. People knew this and still sat around going, I don't know. Wait for that show. Wait for that joint when the announcement. You knew where he was going. Bags were packed. Houses were picked. Schools were picked. He was already there. Let's wait it out and see what's going to happen. You knew he was going back to Cleveland. Well, his contract's up. Who knows where he's going to go? He's going back to Cleveland. We knew this. He knew this. And still it was like, you never know. Last year in Cleveland, I might go to Philly. I might go here. Dude, you had already picked out schools in LA to take your kids. And you're still trying to tell people you might go somewhere. I'm like, yeah, but come on. This joint. You got a whole podcast with JJ Redick giving you plays. Yeah, man, you got a great mind. Then my man goes into the meeting and go, yo, I don't want to be the centerpiece. Give it to AD. Whatever he say, that's what we do. Dude, every single thing has fell in place for you since you said that. Because it was malarkey. It was, you know what I'm saying? Come on. You got the coach you wanted. You got your kid on your team. There's going to be a lot of people you're getting rid of. Boom. And I hate when people talk this stuff about like, yo, they hating on Jay. They're not hating on JJ Redick for being a first-time coach. They're hating on JJ Redick for the way that this happened. We knew it was going to happen. The Lakers try to wink it, go, no, that's not what's going to happen, and it happened anyway. That's the thing. The problem is never hating on LeBron's situation. It's the fact that he goes, you never know what I'm going to do. But we do. Just keep it a buck and go, yeah, that's what I'm doing. You do that, then it's a whole different joint. Then people will have a different approach. Yeah, we trying to get JJ Redick, you know what I'm saying? We had good chemistry on the podcast. I see he got a great mind. Who is going to argue with you on that? We looked at plays, and even when the camera's not on us, he's telling me things. He has a great mind. You know what I'm saying? I talk to the buses, and we like, yo, you need to bring my mans in because he nice. Give him a chance. Let's be the team that gives him a chance. And he might, even if you let him go, and some other team sees that, yo, he really does have some great ideas. He probably needs a better team around him to help flesh those ideas out. Give him a chance. He has a great mind. Nobody's hating on you, but you kicking it like, nah, son, we gonna try this dude first, but no, we're not gonna really pay him the money. Don't pay him the money for real. Make it feel like he was about to get that gig, but he ain't got that gig. JJ got that gig. That's where you get the hate. That's where the hate comes from. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here, all LeBron haters. LeBron lovers. They on that man's joint like that. Oh man, but what about Kerr and what about such? Yes, it happens all the time. Nobody's hating on the fact that they're getting the gig. They're hating on the fact that the way y'all played it out, like, oh no, we're not really gonna be looking for him. Hey, keep on coming. Come on, man. No, he's not really. Am I really coming or not? No, you're coming, but we gotta tell him no, you're not. That's where the hate come in at. Stop playing, y'all. Stop acting like y'all don't know how that go down. Do I wish the Lakers the best? I don't care nothing. Look, I ain't been a Lakers fan since they got rid of Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel that year when Magic was like, forget them, and he wanted to get on the court that year. Oh my God, I hated the Lakers. I stopped being a Lakers fan that year. I was a Lakers fan for real. And I thought Nick the Quick and Eddie Jones, yo, and then you had Kobe coming off the bench. I'm like, yo, this is a solid team right here. Woo. Campbell and all that. Yo, I'm like, yo, this is decent. This is alright. They can, you know what I'm saying, make a couple of changes and build around their young core. They can get some championships. Man, next thing you know, they was like, yo, Magic was like, yo, some of these dudes got to go. And it was the dudes. I'm like, yo, not Nick. Not Eddie. And even when somebody was OG told me, he'd be like, yo, look, young man, they got to get rid of Eddie. They trying their best to give you Kobe. Kobe and Eddie play the same position. Eddie is too good right now to be following behind Kobe, so you got to get rid of Eddie to bring Kobe up. I see what you're saying, OG, but yo, this was the joint. What you gonna do? I remember I took my Laker hat off. I had the black joint with the gold brim, not even the purple brim, with the gold brim and the emblem. Yeah, I took that joint off. I ain't wore that joint ever again. All my Lakers stuff was gone. Like, I ain't doing Lakers no more, man. Forget them Lakers, man. And I haven't. That ain't got nothing to do with LeBron going to LA. I haven't been a Lakers fan since then. So when I say I don't care, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the transparency is where people get lost at. Y'all out here trying to go, ooh, look, don't look at the hand over here, look at the hand over here, but the hand over here is beside the other hand. So you're like, hold on. You're telling me to look at your left hand and not look at your right hand, but your right hand is directly beside your left hand. Like, at least put it behind your back, dog. Huh? Then I can't do the trick that way. That's what y'all doing. That's what they doing. Anyway, man, I hope the young brother success. I hope he has a great career. I hope he does great in the league. And I hope he does it kind of like Lonzo Ball. I hope he has a Lonzo Ball situation where he doesn't meet the expectations that you guys want, but he is definitely 100% that dude in situations. He ends up being, even because Lonzo Ball isn't going to be a Jimmy Butler player ever, but I hope that's what he becomes. I hope he becomes a Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? This is an all-star caliber guy. This is a guy that a team depends on, but he's not going to be as popular as his other peers. That You know what I'm saying? Where the players know, yo, not this dude. You know what I'm saying? The media ain't focused on him no more because he had failed too many times. But on the end of the day, there's that 1 year he might get, you know what I'm saying, most improved. And then he gonna become an all-star. And boom, boom. It wasn't overnight success. It wasn't, immediate. It was takes time. You know what I'm saying? And then he grows. And cool thing is he'll grow and develop his own legacy instead of coattailing off of his father's legacy. Because that's what the media wants. That's what ESPN wants. They want that. And it's like, nah, son. At some point, he's not going to want that. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's all I'm saying. Look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning didn't want to be his father. He wanted to be his big brother. You know what I'm saying? But the same thing is there's the pressure. And then Peyton Manning became a whole different dude. Peyton Manning is him and his brother, they have their own paths. They have their own legacy. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I hope the brother goes out here and he carves his own lane. He puts down his own pavement to make his own path. Like, yo, this is my road right here. I didn't follow my pop's road. I made my own road. Successful still. Let's go. You know what I mean? So salute. Here's something I found out yesterday. Apparently it was kind of oldish news. Not old, like way back old, but oldish. Paramount shut down MTV News. And at some point, I guess recently, Paramount also ordered that the online archives be erased. They're no longer available. The whole thing is gone. Like, they stopped doing it, but they kept the archive up. And now they're like, yo, forget the archives. And people who put those things together are highly upset. I saw some guy who I guess I'm assuming probably did pop and rock. And he's like, yo, I spent 8 years over there doing stuff with, you know what I'm saying? I put 8 years worth of content on that, and it's gone. Like, my work is gone. You know what I'm saying? I saw one dude who said he did interviews with Nipsey, and he did interviews with these rappers and those rappers who aren't even no longer here with us. Mac Millers and all them. Content gone. Work erased. There's nothing to fall back on and go, yo, look at this and look at that. Now, I'm saying all that from the angle of, here's what I was told as a youngin'. Keep your material. I was always told that. Salute to my man, rest in peace to my man D Trigger. He told me that. Look, before I moved out of VA, I remember he was like, yo, he pulls the trunk to the side. Big old chest trunk. Crack that open. Ain't nothing but CDs and tapes in there. Got stuff labeled out. He got things written on everything. And he could pull out all the artists he's ever worked with, all the music he's ever done, good or bad, all the stuff that's ever been recorded in his crib, good or bad, he had it. And I thought that was dope. I'm like, yeah. And that hit me like, yo, yeah. And even then, like, I remember, personal story, we were trying to get signed. We kind of were signed-ish to a duo, Eclipse Records. And Eclipse Records was just a mess. Eclipse Records were like children who get new toys and they disregard their old toys. And we were starting to be the old toys. And my mindset was, well, we got music here. Can we get like, you can keep the beats. Give us the vocals. Those are our vocals. Me and the one head guy went at it. And I'm like 16. Like, when I say we went at it, we went at it. As a 16-year-old talking to a 30-something-year-old man. Like, no, man, dude, those are our like, you can keep the beat. We can find somebody to make another beat. Because we knew a bunch of producers and DJs. We were like, yo, they can always throw something under it. Give us our vocals. That's us. But nah, this is my music. No, that's not your music. That's our music too. Our bars. You're just going, yo, boom. So I understood that. That was the moment where it was like, oh yeah, I got to make sure I always get a copy, because we didn't even have copies. Like, they didn't even give us copies of the joints. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my man O&O, and if he hears this, he'll tell anybody who's like, yo, for real? I'm like, yeah, dog, they didn't even give us copies of the music. Like, not even copies. Like, yo, take this home. Be happy for it. You know what I mean? None of that. So it was like, all right, cool. It was a big deal. But I remember that situation was like, yo, and I'm telling my man Trigger back then, and he's like, yeah, that's why you always got to keep your stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. And the other person who told me indirectly was Fraser Crane from the Fraser Show. I remember watching that episode, and he goes into the closet and he has all his episodes. I was like, yo, that really is a thing that you need to do. Keep your copies. So now I'm listening to these dudes, reading what these dudes are talking about, and they're like, yo, all my stuff gone. And I'm thinking, the first thing I'm thinking is, how do you not keep something for yourself to go, this is a moment that this is what I did. I interviewed XYZ. We rocked it with so-and-so. This was a dope moment in my life. And here's the footage, here's the audio, here it is, you can hear it, see it. Bam, this is right. How do you not keep a piece of that? And I understand that there's probably some clauses and stuff. No, you're supposed to sneak that. You're supposed to, yo, I'm keeping some of this. Yo, matter of fact, my mans is gonna be with me. I work for MTV, so I'm sliding a little something to my mans. Hey, yo, my man, you come with me and do the dry joint. Just hold your phone up or whatever and do the dry joint. Hold something up, record it on something, and like, wow, they got the cameras, the real MTV cameras over here. You be in the cut somewhere, documenting this for me, for prosperity. And you know what I mean? And I cut you into pieces. It has to be something like that. You know what I mean? There's no way that you do anything and not have your personal copies of the moment. That's what makes it dope. Now these dudes are running around here going, they erased it, got rid of it, and apparently from the way that these people are huffing and puffing, didn't holler at them and go, yo, come get some of this. Yo, get you some copies of these joints before it go. Even if I didn't get a copy, I'm going to MTV News and I'm cutting, pasting links, trying to figure out how to download the joint so I can again, personally have it. There's no way you not gonna have me out here doing this and I don't have it. Psh, come on, man. I remember I used to post music on mixes, not music, mixes on Mix Crate. This is Mixcloud wasn't even popular at this time. Mixcloud was right there with it. Mix Crate was the actually more popular version. For anybody who remembers putting mixes, DJs, if there's any DJs listening, that was that thing. They just shut down one day. It was like they got an email like, yo, we done. And then you Googled up the thing and there was threads going, yo, what am I going to do? Oh, it was all my music. You got to keep your music. And I kept I always had a copy of my stuff. It was like, what? How do you not have a copy of your stuff? What? MySpace. When it was bought again and da-da-da-da-da-da and all that. Next thing you know, there's nothing on MySpace anymore. Like you can go to an old MySpace page and it looks like it's official, but it doesn't play anything. It doesn't keep, they got rid of everything. So imagine the people who, one, didn't check their emails, because I figure they must have gave them, somebody said they gave them months to prepare for that. So imagine being the person who's just like, or like many people, you changed the email. But one thing you knew was sure, your password and your login was still the same. So you just, I'll get on that joint in a minute and boom, boom, boom. And it's like, they got to the point where they switched over so much that your joints weren't even official no more. Like, you lost all your stuff. So yeah, and I ain't gonna front, I lost maybe two songs. Yeah, man, to not have the stuff that you participated in when this company goes under, or Paramount goes, this isn't needed. We're trying to save money. We don't need this. Cut that, kill that, throw that to the side. And you have nothing. They said nothing to you. It was like, yo, come get your joints. Hey, did you have a hand in any of this? Come holler at us, get your stuff. Hold on to it for prosperity. Just be like, yo, boom, I remember. And who knows, some of these dudes could parlay that into a whole podcast or something somewhere and be like, yo, I remember the time I did, and have stories behind the clips. You ain't even got to show the clip. You ain't got to show the whole joint. Just be like, yo, I remember that time I interviewed XYZ. It was crazy. And have stories. And there's your proof. The joint. They can't even do that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Lesson learned for all those people out there who got caught out there. Lesson learned for people who are thinking about doing stuff that you need to probably make sure your stuff's straight. You know what I mean? Now, let's talk about this presidential debate, which, by the way, is a weird one, right? And not weird because it was crazy with watching listening. I didn't watch it, I listening to two old people who sound similar. Like, there's a point where they sound so similar that the only reason I could take a distinction between the two vocally was because one would go, very, very, the best of all time. They said nobody's ever, that was it. If Trump never said anything like that and just spoke, and then you had Biden speaking, they both spoke in the same slow manner. They both had these crazy breathing things where you could literally hear them inhale and exhale. When I saw it this morning, they're standing at a mic with a mic on their jacket. And I think that's why, because they're older now and the voices are lower. So it's like, yo, we need to really make sure the people can hear these two old dudes. So not only are you hearing these old dudes, but you're hearing their breathing. I'm like, yo, my man, what are y'all doing? But what I found weird about it was, not only is it in July, but neither convention has happened yet. The concept of the convention, the concept of the National Convention is to set in motion the officialness. That ain't a word, by the way. The officialness, I said it twice. Of who your nominee is. That's what that is. That's what that's supposed to be. Then that nominee goes, this is the guy that you're running with. This is your running mate. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. You basically set in motion that this is the guy that we're behind. They go boom, boom, boom. None of that has happened yet. As far as we can tell, Donald Trump doesn't even have a vice president. Donald Trump has single-handedly changed the way we do politics. This has never been done before. You've never had a former president run for president again. You've never had these dudes actually out here having all of this in modern day before your national conventions. You've never had a felon run for president. And before I even get to that, let me explain something about that part, because I see people tripping on that. Felons have most of their rights as citizens stripped away. Now, when you look up the article, there's an article in the Constitution and all that doesn't say anything about, like, you can still run. The problem is, nobody thought about that before. You can still run for office, in any office, not just president, any governor, mayor, city council. You can run for all of that as a felon. You can't vote. You can't get certain benefits. You can't get certain jobs. You can't join the military. You can't do a lot of things as a felon, but the one thing you can do is run for an office. And the only reason that they even have that there is because they're like, look, who's going to even think about doing that when they realize all of this is taken away from them? All these rights are excluded. So yeah, nobody's going to go, oh, well, you know what I should do? Run for office. Nobody thinks about that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't vote, so why would I run? I don't think I could run for office. You can. You can. Here's the crazy part. Trump is a felon. There's no doubt about that. He becomes president. What does he do for felons? Does he figure out a way to go, hey, when you come home within 5 years, all your rights are restored back to you. You can go out here and vote. If you're young, you probably won't be young enough to join the military, but there's other things you can start a business and be part of these programs. You can do this and be part of these programs. You can get this here, depending on what your crime is. For the most part, you're allowed to get your stuff back. Drug dealers can vote. Sex offenders can vote. You can be part of these programs. You can do all this and that. There's just other things that you guys might not. And that's the whole thing. There's things where they're prohibited from doing. But the basics, you should be allowed. Will Trump do that? Probably not. Probably not. He's going to look at it like he found the loophole. He rocked with the loophole. Salute to whoever his lawyer is who knew that to be a fact. Like, yo, yeah, you can still run, son. Really? Yeah, there's nothing in here that says you can't run. Run. Do it. Everybody, and that was one of the first things, yo, can he? And people were like, sadly enough, yeah. There's nothing stopping him. That's just crazy. Trump said when it came up to abortion, he was like, I gave it to the states. The states can do what they want to do. He was like, this whole thing about the 9th month, like, yeah, I understand emergency situations where it's the baby's life or the parent's life. States handle that. When they were talking about the incest and the rapes and all that, he was like, I wouldn't go through with letting those people have the babies, but that's me. The states got it. You see how smooth he just backed off of that? He was like, I wouldn't do it, but it's in the hands of the states. Each state looks at it differently. When they were talking about the thing out there in, I forgot if it's Idaho or Iowa, and he was like, yeah, that's good for them. That's what they should do. Y'all are watching a man who has sat back and evaluated his pros and cons. He's saying what he needs to say to, one, appeal to make it look like, oh, I'm not as villainous as you think, for one group, while still keeping his stance and appeal for another group. That is a whole different Trump. Matter of fact, if I had to be honest, when I knew this debate was coming, I thought this was going to be like the primaries. Y'all saw that mess the primaries were. Huffing and puffing, speaking all over each other and doing all kind of stuff. Matter of fact, when Trump was going against Hillary, the facial expression, again, I didn't hear it. I mean, I didn't see it. I heard it. But the way he would just cut her in and cut her down and talk bad about, he really didn't. He said he was the worst president. He did this. I did this. I did that. It was very good. Both of these dudes all of a sudden was like experts were telling us who this and that is. Like, come on, man. But it wasn't this thing that his politicians who are following his path have been doing, where they're just doing the most outlandish and outrageous stuff. This man carried himself like somebody who was president. I feel weird because I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because I've said some good things about Trump to the point I've had people calling my phone. Hey, but you support? Dude, no. I don't know how did y'all think I was a Trump lover? Like, what happened? But the fact that this man is aware enough to understand he was a former president. He's trying to be the next president. He's carrying himself, at least in this debate, totally that the stuff that he does on stage while he was campaigning, that's that. In this debate, that wasn't the same Trump. That's not the same guy at all. And that threw the whole game off. I think that threw not only Biden off, it threw the CNN people off. They were kind of expecting, they asked him to one joint. He was like, yo, how you feel about January 6th? My man said the borders were still safe. Yo, what? Hey, he went in on him. The stocks were still good. He was like, yo, he went in and just said that, and it was like, yo, this dude is he foolish for that. Then he got serious and he was like, yo, I I told them, like, yo, y'all need to probably get some backup. Y'all need to bring some troops in. Who knows how this can go? The thing about that is, he probably did say that. Again, that goes back to somebody who understands his crowd. He understands his audience. He understands his supporters. He knows that these people are wild. You know what I'm saying? Now, he didn't answer about the fact that it took him a minute to like say anything against them. That he didn't say. He didn't answer that, Joy. He didn't answer on that. The whole thing is crazy. And this debate was more about social media topics than it was actually about a presidential debate. There's so much more that needs to be spoken about other than the hot button issues that makes the rounds on social media. Hey man, you know you was a felon. Hey man, what do you think about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine? Hey man, what do you think about what's going on with Israel and Palestine? Hey, what do you think about this? You know what do you think about Charlottesville came back up? Like inflation all day. What are we doing about inflation? You know what I'm saying? They tapped on it. That's really it. It was like, boom, inflation. And they moved on to something else. Nah, inflation should be a thing. If you want to bring it up like that, yeah, abortion should be a thing. Healthcare should always be a thing. Daycare should be a thing. Education, the concept of the American history should be a thing. You know what I'm saying? If it seems like white people are looked at as evil, should we just not do it? Or are we trying to reshape what history is and retell a whole different viewpoint of history? Like, what are we doing with our American history? Climate change. They tapped on climate change and moved on so fast. It was like, yo, if you weren't paying attention, you'd miss it. There's so many more topics to talk about that it was more, again, about here are these two old dudes speaking on so much that, like, old dudes. We got to put a cap on how old you got to be to keep trying to run for president. Because listening to these two dudes, it was so painful. Yes, Trump may have sounded a little more vibrant. And there's times I have no idea what Biden was saying. Biden was just, he got the slurring. He was like, what did he just say? Trump was out here just making, like, Trump sound like me when I make up names of people I don't care about. Cause I swear to God, he said, you know what I'm saying, Big Daddy Batty and Silly Hilly Hilly, Sahilly Hilly. Yeah, I was like, hold on, who? These ain't real names, are they? Big Papa Pump. I'm like, yo, my man is just literally rambling on. He's saying names now. Yeah, man, they were like the two baddest dudes out there. We got them. Like, alright, but what they gotta do with what we at now? Trump couldn't bring up factual examples of the crime and the rape and the murdering that the people over the coming here illegally are doing. Like I said, to me, I don't know what this was. This might have been CNN and them trying to get a jump start on things, because most of this stuff happens after the conventions. And this was them trying to go, yo, let's do it now to get it out the way. And they shouldn't. This was corny. This was crazy. Maybe it's Trump's way of going, I don't know what they're going to do with me. I don't know if I'm going to get locked up, so I want to at least have a debate under my belt. You know what I mean? I don't know what this debate was about, because you don't usually have debates before your national conventions, and neither national convention has happened. So it's like, Trump doesn't even have a vice president. This debate was crazy, listening to these old dudes huff and puff as they would say stuff. And they had experts apparently that were contradicting other experts. And they were, yeah, it was crazy. It was a wild exchange between these old dudes. Like I said, I don't know what it looked like, but listening to it, it was painful. It was painful. Then when I had to like actually look up something and I saw them and I'm like, yo, hold on. Both of these dudes got a mic on their jacket and then standing in front of a mic. Like I said, that's what hit me. Like, that's why we were hearing that breathing so hard. At least maybe on, like, I heard it on NPR, so maybe on TV it didn't sound that way if you watched it. But yeah, this was just terrible, man. This was terrible. Oh my God. And we got some more. I think we're supposed to officially have 3, right? I don't even know if this counts as the official ones. If this was just like a preseason debate. Like, that's what we doing there. We doing like preliminary, like yo, here's a preseason joint. Like, yo, before the real debate season start, let's play off and just see how this work out. Let's go through the ropes and do a lot. Were they even live? Because I didn't hear people cheering. I didn't hear people oohing and eyeing. I don't even think they were in front of an audience, were they? Again, I heard it. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But usually you hear the clapping and nothing. It was just 2 dudes talking. Like, this literally felt like a PBS debate where they were just sitting in the chair together, and it was like, okay, then they shake hands and go off and have lunch together and talk about how, like, yo, I really don't like you that much, son. We got to come up with a better, like, can we do something? And have their own conversations off in the cut somewhere. That's what I feel like happened when this was over. They shook hands. I don't even know if they shook hands. They shook hands. They probably met up with each other somewhere privately and just spoke like men. Probably cussing at each other, huffing and puffing, man, with that too, and da-da-da-da. And just, you know what I mean? Like, yo. And salute to Trump. Trump is like, yeah, I ain't supposed to say no names, but... Hey, Trump, wild dude. Trump is a wild dude. He's like, yo, I'm not even the president, but I'm still calling Putin like, yo, son, what is you doing? Well, your mans is out here wilding. I think he weak. They told me they think he's weak. Like, hold on. Why are you still talking to these people? What kind of CIA operative thing is? What is you got going on, man? Like, and that's just slid. The fact that he said he was talking to some of these people still, it's like, yo, hold on, my man. Are you, whoa, for real? What's going on? What do you know that we don't know? Like, apparently you know some stuff that could probably be detrimental to us, and you're just holding on to that. Like, yo, if I can become president, I can stop what they think they about to do. You can stop that now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But anyway, this is just, it was a wild debate. It was a needless debate for sure. That debate was trash. Gotta imagine you're gonna hear this 3 more times. And then I think something tells me the next couple of times after the convention, when they sealed the deal that Trump is their representative, he's probably really gonna go and be haywire. Or he'll stay in a stoic position. Because like I said, I respected this angle from Trump. Because I was expecting something so much more. And he kept it cool. He kept it smooth. He was like, that's a lie. We've done the greatest. This has been nobody. They said we were the best that have done it, and all that old stuff. I'm not trying to do no impressions, but you know what I'm saying. He did his thing, and Biden was like, man, that's a lie, cause this is I got my specialists, and they say y'all it's trash. You know what I mean? But listening to these dudes fumble their words and like, oh my God, my man. Y'all about to hear your hearts beat and everything. Like, y'all, somebody get these dudes some water, an oxygen tank or something. Like, y'all are really out here. I'm like, woof. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys. I don't know what that was about. It was basically a waste of time. Like, if you missed it, you definitely didn't miss nothing. It was, yeah, you didn't miss nothing. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys, thank y'all for rocking with me. You know how we do. This is what we get down. And since this episode and there's nothing to jump to and play around off of, we're going to say it like this. You only live once. That's a lie. I messed up. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Y'all be safe. Thank y'all for rocking with me. We got a couple more of them presidential debates to go. Woof. Oh my goodness. Ooh, wee. Y'all be safe, man. Peace.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.